Hey guys, what is up and welcome back to my channel. Another day, another drama, and finally Tati Westbrook has uploaded her video that everybody has been waiting for. Now she's been sending out these cryptic tweets with music attached to them and people were like, okay, release your video. And then she didn't. And then she did some more tweets and then people were like, okay girl, it's time to release your video. And then she just stopped posting those tweets. And then everyone was like, okay, she doesn't have a video. And then she was silent again. And then bam, she drops her video. So I think she was like, you know what? I do have a video. I was waiting for my legal team to review the video and I had to make sure I was very cautious about what I was saying in my video. So that's why it was taking so long. So we have Tati's video. So let's go ahead and jump on into what she had to say. She started out the video by saying that she apologized to James Charles and that James Charles wanted to be by her side while she made this video, but she felt that it was best if she did this video alone. Now she did double down on her feelings with James Charles as what she perceived as a progressive growing of entitlement with James Charles and his ego. But she said that none of her concerns became overwhelming until after she met Shane Dawson. She said that she didn't make her video because of James's sponsorship with Sugar Bear Hair, but because of all the lies and manipulation that she was being fed by Shane Dawson and Jeffree Star. Now I know a lot of people online are saying, okay girl, but you're in your 30s, almost 40, and you're letting people manipulate you. Like, come on, you're a grown adult, that's not a thing. But here's the thing, is that we've all been in one of those situations. We all have that one friend who is like, ugh, I don't like that person. Like, how could you like that person? Have you heard what they've done? You know that they did this, right? They're a terrible person for doing this. People are always going to have that one person in their life or multiple people in their lives that are just going to be feeding negativity to you. And as soon as they can spot a weakness and be like, okay, you're not liking this person because you're starting to believe that this person did something wrong, well, let me feed you some more information and be like, oh, did you hear about this or this? Did you know that they did this? So it is a thing. It's happened to me in my life in the past, and I'm sure it's happened to lots of other people in the past where they allow other people to affect their feelings about somebody else. So for people to say, like, how could you be manipulated into believing this? It's a thing that really happens in everybody's daily lives, and a lot of people just don't realize it because it's not on such a massive scale like this was. She then goes on to state that she was never served any lawsuit or a cease and desist letter after everything happened, but YouTube contacted her and asked her to take her video down because it was bad for the platform. So I find it very odd that YouTube is contacting creators behind the scenes and saying, hey, your video is extremely bad for our platform and it's going to hurt our investors, so we're going to need you to take that video down. But yet they were fine with having Shane Dawson leave his racist content up for years completely monetized. Interesting. She then goes on to say that the information that Shane and Jeffree were feeding her was terrifying and that she wanted James to put his phone down and seek help because she felt that his freedom and career were in jeopardy, and that Shane and Jeffree said that multiple victims were going to come forward with their stories. Now we know that Jeffree Star sent that text message to James Charles with all these victims who were going to come forward on camera and tell their story, but yet none of that ever happened. So I'm starting to wonder if that text message was a way to manipulate James Charles into remaining silent. She then goes on to say that when she first did her collabs with Jeffree, that yes, she knew about his past and that he had a lot of issues, but she saw a change for the better, and she hoped that with her coming into his life, that she would be a positive influence on him and be able to help him grow even more into a better person, and now she's a fool for believing that she could ever help him become a better person. She then goes on to say that her relationship with Jeffree was mainly through phone call, text, and FaceTime, and so she went to his house a couple times, didn't stay long, he came to her house a couple times and didn't stay long, but there would be months in between when they would talk, but he would only reach out to her when he was involved in some kind of drama or scandal, or when he had a new launch coming. Now to me, that's a giant red flag, because that's like a person who only contacts you when they need something. We all have that one person in their life that when something's going bad, they reach out to you because they know that you'll help them because you're a nice person, and they'll use you to help get through whatever's going through, and then after that, they just end up ghosting you again and don't reach out to you again until they need you for something else. So that's a huge red flag of anybody in your life. So if you have somebody in your life that only contacts you when they need something or they're having problems, that's not a person that you want in your life at all. She then goes on to say that Jeffree would constantly talk about how much dirt he had on brand owners and members of the YouTube community. And we know that there's that clip of Jeffree on Snapchat where he says, well, why doesn't she talk about you? And he goes, well, that's because I have dirt on everyone, and they know to keep their mouth shut. So we know that Tati's not lying when she says that he has dirt on everybody. Let's be honest. We all know that because Jeffree put that information out there himself. But the fact that he would constantly bring that up is a way of putting that into the back of your head saying, hey, if you ever turn on me, anything that you ever told me, I'm going to use that as blackmail against you. Again, another huge red flag. Tati then goes on to say that Jeffree took every chance that he could to talk negatively about James Charles. Before they filmed a makeup collab for James's channel, Jeffree told Tati that he didn't want Tati there and that he'd rather have Nikki Tutorials there, but Jeffree had her back. And then at Tati's birthday party, every second that James Charles wasn't around, he'd tell Tati, like, oh, did you hear about this? Or did you hear about this? Or I can't believe that James Charles said this. Like, how could you make that kind of statement? And then he made it a point to call Tati after the birthday party to say, hey, I just wanted to reach out and apologize for James Charles' actions at your birthday party. That was completely uncalled for. I can't believe that he did that, and I can't believe that he said that. So again, he's planting that seed into Tati's mind about how terrible of a person James is. Now, I'm not saying that James Charles' actions that he had in his past are excused, but the fact that Jeffree is constantly putting that into Tati's mind, saying, hey, look at all these terrible things that he's done, again, that's another huge red flag about what was about to happen. And then on top of that, Tati said that she met with Jeffree in March at the Killer merch office to go over him possibly doing her merch, and the only thing that he wanted to talk about was James Charles in a negative way. So to me, it seems that Jeffree Star was extremely obsessed with James Charles, and Tati even said that she thinks it was out of jealousy because James's channel was skyrocketing and his popularity was rising. So is this a way for Jeffree Star to take down his main competitor? Could have been. Tati then said that she and Shane met and that she opened up to him with a lot of personal information about her life, and Shane told her that Jeffree wanted her to have a small part in their series, but the entire series was quickly changing because there was something horrible happening with James Charles, and that there were going to be multiple victims coming forward about James Charles. She then said that Shane told her that James Charles was a monster and that James Charles was hurting minors, and that he was going to be interviewing victims for this series because James Charles needed to be stopped. She then goes on to say that not only did Shane Dawson know about her bi-sister's video, but he offered to edit it, design the thumbnail, and title the video. So Shane knew exactly what was going on, and he was totally fine with it. So for him to say that he had no part of Dramageddon 2 is a complete lie. And she felt that the fact that Shane Dawson was trying to help her just reiterated the fact that she believed that what they were saying was true, because why would Shane Dawson put his entire career on the line for a lie? She then goes on to say that there were several news and editorial outlets that knew that she was going to film a video even before she did, so how did they know that she was going to film a video even before she had decided to? So to me, it sounded like Shane and Jeffree were even leaking information to the news. She then said that Jeffree sent her an audio file of an alleged victim of James Charles, so that way she knew exactly what was going on. And she said that it wasn't enough information to go to the police, but it was enough information to scare her. Now there we have it again, that Jeffree Star is sending this audio file to another person. So how many people have this audio file that has been spoken about so much on Twitter and on Mom's Basement podcast? It seems that he has sent this audio file to multiple people in hopes that somebody finally leaks it, so that way he doesn't get his hands dirty. But the thing is, though, is that we all know where this audio file originated, and that was through you, Jeffree. So if anybody leaks this audio file, it goes back to you and that victim, that you took that personal information from them and sent out to multiple people. So again, this just shows everybody how Jeffree Star really operates. He prefers not to get his own hands dirty, but he likes to give the information to other people so they can put that information out there so he can be like, oh, told you guys. She then goes on to state that the day before that she posted her bi-sister's video that she reached out to Shane with concerns that James Charles might hurt himself after the video goes public. And then Shane responded with her by saying, oh, don't worry about that. James Charles is a narcissist. He would never do that. Really, Shane? And then on top of that, the day that Tati published the video, Shane requested to come over and film and document everything for the series. Thankfully, Tati declined, but Shane just wanted to use what was going on to further the series with more drama and to be able to take James Charles down. She then goes on to state that after a few days of Jeffree fanning the flames on Twitter, no victims came forward and no receipts were presented, which is what was stated was going to happen. So to me, it sounds like they were just using Tati to put this information out there, and then they didn't want to get involved since it blew up so big. And then the last time that she spoke to Jeffree was the day before he released his Never Doing This Again video, and then soon after the relationship completely dissolved, and she didn't speak to either one of them. And to me, it seems like they just completely used her and then just left her out to dry on her own and said, okay, well, you were the one that released that video. All of this is on you now. We're not going to be a part of this anymore because it's going to hurt our careers. So thanks so much for putting this information out there. Sucks that it's hurting your career, but you know what? It's helping ours. Tati even started to have conspiracies that this whole thing was just a giant social experiment and James Charles was involved and that it was going to be revealed in the series and that she would look like a giant fool at the end because of everything that happened. Now I know that this is a conspiracy that a lot of other people had too, so for her to even think about this isn't completely out of mind, because I was like, what if this whole thing was just a ploy to see how toxic cancel culture really is? She also stated that Shane never checked on her after everything happened, and that Shane never reached out to her to show the trailer to her. So again, another lie that Shane was caught in, because he said that he reached out to both Tati and James about the trailer and said that everything was going to be okay, but Tati just said that no, Shane never reached out to her. Tati said that the last time that Shane and her spoke was right before Jeffree put out his apology video, and she asked him to not include the drama in the series. She didn't hear back from him again until after the trailer went live, and he sent her an audio file telling her to not worry about it. Really? Really, Shane? So after a year of abuse and all this starting to resurface again, Tati then started to fear for her life. She took all of her text messages, screen recordings, audio files, voice memos, whatever she had, put them on a hard drive, and then gave them to her lawyer. And then not only had she moved to Seattle, she moved again after she got there and increased security because of the fear that she had. She goes on to say that it wasn't until December after this series has ended that her and James Charles met and they finally realized what was going on. They compared audio files, text messages, and a whole bunch of other stuff to put everything together and realize what was really going on behind the scenes. She then goes on to say that at the advice of her attorneys, she is not able to present anything about what she has, but there will become a day when she is able to put all this information out there, so be ready for it. So I believe that this is far from over. We all know that Shane's going to respond, that Jeffree's going to respond. I know that there's a lot of other things that are going on, but as soon as Tati and James are able to reveal everything that they have and everything that they have put together about everything that was happening behind the scenes, behind their backs, and what people were saying, I think that this is just going to completely explode. Now, I don't know how long this is going to take. I mean, could this take another year? Could this wait until there's any kind of legal action that has been taken? I have no idea, but I know at some point all this information is going to be put out there. And I wouldn't be surprised at some point if things start to get randomly leaked, because let's be honest, that's the way that all of this always seems to work anyways. And then Tati ends the video that she believes that all this happened because both Jeffree and Shane were bitter about James's success. Jeffree didn't like the fact that most of his business with Killer Merch was centered around James Charles, and Shane Dawson didn't like the fact that James Charles wanted to film a documentary. And I think I'm going to have to agree with Tati on this. I could see how that would make both of them upset, but the fact that they would go to this level to basically try to end somebody's career and possibly even their life and their livelihood is absolutely ridiculous. If this is true, it just shows you what kind of people Shane and Jeffree really are. The fact that they really only care about themselves, and that is it. Nothing else. But that is everything that I have for today's video, so I'd love to know what you guys think about the entire situation down below. I know that there's a lot to unpack, so I'm not going to leave you with specific questions. Just let me know what you think about everything, and I will see you guys all in the next video. Bye!